Hello and welcome to this channel. In this video, I will focus on the details about the NEOWISE comet, which is currently visible in the night sky, and some more observations by NASA, and also some facts about comets in general. So let's start. In a major development in the space news recently, NASA's NEOWISE telescope discovered a comet called a C2020 F3, or nicknamed as a Comet NEOWISE after the NASA's telescope. The NEOWISE stands for Near Earth Object Wide Field Infrared Survey Explorer, and it is said that it will make its closest approach to the Earth on July 22nd to 23rd, when it will be at a distance of around 103 million kilometers from the Earth while crossing the Earth's outside orbit. And on July the 3rd, the comet was at the closest position with the Sun from the Sun at around 43 million kilometers. On this particular day, the comet cruised inside Mercury's orbit, and due to its proximity to the Sun, its outer layer was exposed or released, creating an atmosphere referred to as a coma, which is mainly composed of gases and dust from its icy surface. Let's look at this picture here. This is the orbit of the NEOWISE comet, and on July the 3rd, it was at the closest position, 3rd July, closest to the Sun, and due to its proximity to the Sun, or the interference with the Sun's rays or the Sun's magnetic particles, there will be dust and the gases will be emitting in this direction or releasing in this direction. July 3rd it will be here, and due to the interference of the Sun, the outer layer or the outer atmosphere of the comet will be released, and this will create something called as coma. Okay, and this particular development is very good news for the star watchers in India, because they will be able to get a glimpse of this comet NEOWISE from July 14 onwards as it soars across the solar system, and the comet will be visible to the naked eye in the northwestern sky 20 degrees from the horizon after the sunset for around 20 minutes every day for 20 days. So this comet, the comet's path is somewhere like this. It came and it eventually came to the closest position with the Sun, and then it will be going towards the Earth like that. Here it is the orbit of the Earth here. So on 22nd to 23rd of July it will be closest to the Earth, and eventually by the month of August, this particular comet will be leaving the Earth's vicinity, and due to that this comet will no longer be visible to the naked eye, but the binoculars or the telescopes may enhance the visibility. Now let's see the observations by NASA. Now NASA observed, or according to NASA, the comet is around 5 km wide, and its nucleus is covered with sooty dark particles. These particles are left over from its formation, which happened at the time of birth of our solar system around 4.6 billion years ago. Now another very interesting fact is that the next time this particular comet will be visible from the Earth, and this will happen in the year of 8786. So this is the year when this particular comet will be visible again, so which is around 6,000, more than 6,000 years from now. so it's a long time. So the twin tails of the comet NEOWISE are seen more clearly in this image from the WISPR instrument. I'm referring to this image here, but this image is not processed or unprocessed image. When this particular image is processed for the to remove the excess brightness from the scattered sunlight, it is revealing much more details, which is in this picture. You see, this is the processed one. In this picture there is more structural aspects which are visible of the particular comet, and the twin tails are visible. And this WISPR instrument is fitted in the Parker Solar Probe of NASA. This Parker Solar Probe was launched in 2018, and it takes the images of the sun's outer atmosphere and solar wind in the visible range. Okay. Now WISPR's sensitivity also makes it well suited to see fine detail in the structures like the comet's tail, as can be seen here. Also, Parker Solar Probe's position in the space gave the spacecraft an unmatched view or unmatched position to see the comet's twin tails. Okay. Now, because the Parker Solar Probe is situated or placed very nearer to the sun, and when the comet is nearer to the sun's surface, it was easy for the Parker Solar Probe to take the detailed image of the particular comet. And however, the lower tail, which appears broad and fuzzy, is the dust tail of the comet NEOWISE, and this is the lower tail. This one is the lower tail. This is the dust tail. This is the dust tail. Why it is dust tail? Because it is created when the dust particles lift off from the surface of this comet and trails behind the comet. Okay, and the upper tail is the ion tail. This one is the ion tail. It is made up of the gases that have been ionized by losing electrons in the sun's intense light. So whenever the magnetized particles from the sun interferes with the gases or with the comet, it basically creates another tail, which is the ion tail. Okay, and these ionized gases are buffeted by the solar wind, creating this particular ion tail that extends directly away from the sun, as can be seen here. This is the ion tail and the dust tail, and here it is sun here in this position, and this gas tail is just opposite or trailing just opposite to the sun's position here. Okay, and another thing is that this particular NEOWISE telescope, the NEOWISE telescope, this is a project of JPL. JPL is a Jet Propulsion Laboratory, which is a division of Caltech or the California Institute of Technology, and the University of Arizona as well, and this project is supported by NASA. Okay, NASA. So now let's see the details about the comets. Now comets are mostly made of dust, rocks and ice, and they are nothing but the remnants from the time of solar system, which is formed around 4.6 billion years ago. And when frozen, these comets are the size of a small town. That means they are very big. And when a comet's orbit brings it close to the sun, that is around perihelion position, this position is called the perihelion position. The it heats up, the particular comet heats up and spews dust and gases into a giant glowing head, which is larger than most of the planets itself. The dust and the gases from the tail that stretches away from the sun for millions and millions of miles away, like this, it will be going out. Okay, and there are likely to be billions and billions of comets which are orbiting our sun in the Kuiper belt, particularly for the short period comets. So in this picture, this is our solar system. The sun is somewhere around here. As you can see, this is the Earth, Mars, Jupiter, like that, and this position is the Kuiper belt. As you can see, this Kuiper belt is the region of the solar system that exists beyond the 8 major planets, extending from the orbit of Neptune, which is right here, extending from the orbit of the Neptune to approximately around 50 astronomical unit. So this is the position of the Kuiper belt, and here the short period comets are basically orbiting the sun. These are placed in this Kuiper belt region, and the Oort cloud region is thought to be the origin of the most of the long period comets. So here you can see this is the Oort cloud region, and this particular Oort cloud region is an extended shell of icy objects that exist in the outermost reaches of our solar system. The Oort cloud region is thought to be roughly spherical in shape. That is, if it is viewed in 3-dimensional space, it will be a spherical area, this Oort cloud region. Okay, and next is one of the most famous short period comets is called the Halley's Comet, and that particular Halley's Comet reappears every 76 years. Halley's Comet, and Halley's Comet will be sighted in the next it will be in the year of 2062. It will be sighted next. And in 1997, a comet called Hale-Bopp came within around 197 million kilometers from the Earth, and it was visible at that time. There is another news of Comet Ison, which expected to give a spectacular show in 2013, but it did not survive the close encounter with the sun and destroyed. So what happened with the comet? It basically came very near to the sun and it was destroyed ultimately. Okay. Now comets orbit the sun just like our planet and the asteroids, except the comet is having very elongated orbit, as we see in the first image and as can be seen here also. The comets usually have a highly eccentric elliptical orbit. As you can see, this is the orbits of different planets, but in case of this particular comets, the orbit is very highly eccentric and elliptical orbit. This is the difference here, and the debris forms a tail that can stretch out for the millions of miles. Each time a comet passes the sun, it loses some of its material and it will eventually disappear completely. And this is what NASA meant when it referred to this particular Comet C 2020 F3 and said that the comet survived its recent closest approach to the sun, that is on the July the 3rd, when it was somewhere around here. It actually survived and it was not destroyed, and is now headed back toward the outer solar system. That means it is already heading back to the outer solar system, and on the 22nd and 23rd of the July it will come closest to the Earth. And the comets do not have light of their own, and what humans are able to see from the Earth is nothing but the reflection of the sun's light of the comet, as well as the energy released by the gas molecules after it is absorbed from the sun. Okay. Now, as a comet gets closer to the sun, the ice on the surface of the nucleus begins to turn into the gas, forming a cloud known as a coma that we have seen in the first slide. Okay, and the radiation from the sun pushes the dust particles away. So if this is the comet, the radiation from the sun will push the gas particles away or dust particles away from the coma, thus forming the dust tail. Okay. While charged particles from the sun convert some of the comet's gases into ions, turning it to an ion tail. Okay, ion tail is also there. Ion tail. So at last, let's see the significance of the comets. Now, comets hold an important clue about the formation of our solar system, because these comets are created, or they are basically leftovers during the birth of our solar system at around 4.6 billion years ago, right? So, and it is possible that the comets brought water and other organic compounds which are the building blocks of the life on Earth, right? And it is also important to study the comets because there is a program called NASA's NEO observation program, whose objective is to find, track and characterize the near Earth objects, or NEOs, which is around 140 meters or larger in size, because these particular objects, as can be seen in here, these particular objects, that they can pose a serious threat or serious risk to the Earth, because they can make a huge impact and they can cause also huge devastation in case of any possible or any potential collision. Okay, so this is all about the development on this particular comet, and I really thank you for your time.